How do you get the best price for your part exchange? Try it on motorway. You don't have to sell it. You don't have to go through with it. If you do and you use my code, you'll get a £50 Amazon voucher and I'll get a £50 Amazon voucher. But basically you're giving me £50 for making a lot more probably than you would get if you part exchanged it or sold it on Auto Trader. If you're looking to buy a new or a used car, I would try and deal with the actual dealer. It makes it much simpler. You just go, give them the keys to your old car and pick the keys up for your new car. Couldn't be any simpler, so long as you've got a good price. Try and agree the best deal with the garage where you want to buy the car. As I say, that's simple. But you still want the best money, so a bit of aggravation, you know, it can be worth it. Put it on Auto Trader, having people coming around your house. I've told you the story about one customer that I know that I'd underwritten his car and he decided he wanted to try and get more. He thought he had got more. I agreed to match it. It was only 500 quid. I agreed to match it, but he said, well, I've already advertised it, so I may as well see. So he did, and sure enough, he sold it. And he sold it for the same price to two guys who then rung him up the next day and said, oh, this car needs a lot of welding. And the guy said, well, I told you about it. And he said, well, no, it's more welding than you said. So we want, how much was it back? I can't remember how much it was back now. I have written a block. I think it was a couple of grand. We want a couple of grand back. And he said, well, no, it's all right. A trader wants to buy it anyway. Just bring it back. I'll give you your money back. And the guy said, no, we want to keep the car. We want the money back. And he said, well, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And he said, was it a new BMW you said you were getting? I bet they cost a lot to repair. At which point he realised he was being threatened that if he didn't pay the money back, his new BMW would get damaged. So he went to the police. And the police said, well, no real evidence. They haven't done anything. It's just a threat, you know. It's not like he's put a nasty post to you on social media where we could go and knock his door down, 5 armed police, go and get him. You know, he's just threatened to like ruin your car. So the next day he met them on a car park and gave them the money back. So these are the things that you stand a chance of it happening to you, or they come while they're out, they clone your key, whatever, nick your key, give you the wrong key back. They do this on demonstrations. They go out for a test drive, they hand the salesman the key back, and it's a key from another car. The guy never checks it, puts it in the key cupboard. At night the car's gone. They come in your house, they check your security while they're looking, and then come back and rob you. All sorts of things. So if you want to put it on Auto Trader, fine. You pays your money, you takes your chance. How do you get the best money for your part exchange? My advice to you, if you've seen a car, new or used, and you want to buy it, you go to the dealer, you get a price. If you're happy with it, fair enough. Most people check the prices by, say, going on We Buy Any Car, or looking at how much they're selling on Auto Trader. Word of advice, they also check how much people are selling your car or cars like yours on Auto Trader. But what they do, they find the cheapest example of your car and the dearest example of theirs, and they just talk themselves out of the deal. You know, it's just silly. If, for instance, we used to sell the cleanest cars, best history, best mileage, lovely thing, and we'd stand by our warranty. If anything went wrong, we'd fix it. We wouldn't say, well, it's your car now, mate, you know, what you're ringing me for, which is what I've heard one dealer did recently. That was when the fault happened on the way home. So agree a deal. Now, just to be on the safe side, just to leave yourself kind of an escape hatch, tell the dealer that you've got somebody who you think wants to buy it privately, and ask them how much they would knock off the price of the car they're selling if you sold it privately. So, you know, you can win. If sometimes, if it's not the sort of car they want for stock, If they're going to trade it, then they'll knock you some money off because it's easier for them. They get the money in straight away. So you can win here too. But then, this is probably an exercise you should do before you go to the dealer. Go on motorway, get a price, see how much they say they can give you. It can be exaggerated a little bit because don't forget, they want your business too. So bearing in mind that you're going to have perhaps a little bit of an inflated price sometimes, because I'm going to show you in a minute how it can work in your favour. And then you've got the unscrupulous dealers who they outbid everybody else. So you've taken your car off motorway, you've agreed a deal with the dealer, you put all your documents up to motorway, and they come and then they look around your car and go, oh, well, you didn't tell me about this, you didn't tell me about that, you didn't tell me about that. I'm sorry, I can only offer you 500 less. And then that's, if you've agreed a deal and you're going to pick your car up tomorrow, you know, you kind of got to. This is tactics some unscrupulous dealers use. So you have to be careful. Make sure you give a very, very accurate description. Make sure they're all good photographs. Make sure your car's clean. Honestly, a valet these days, 300 quid. You know, if the car's dirty, make sure your car's clean. Even if you only spend a weekend, do you earn 300 quid on a weekend? Probably not. And a dealer will perhaps knock that off your car. So do this first, get an idea of price, then you go and do your shopping at the garage. You know how much you're looking for. The dealer will say how much you're looking for your car, and you'll say as much as possible. Put £1,000 more on what motorway said, and then the dealer just loses interest straight away. Instead of just saying, look, you know, I'm looking for the best deal I can get. I've got an idea in mind. Will you give me a price? If we're anywhere near, I'll do a deal. If not, I'll just walk away. I've been in the job 50 years and I've still not found a good way of saying it, because I've also done a lot of mystery shops. One salesman in particular I knew, how much are you looking for your car, Mr. Customer? You know, you give me an offer and I'll tell you. So this is when glasses guides are out. I used to look in glasses guide and say, oh, it's worth £2.5 grand. And the customer would go, £2.5 grand? I've been offered £5 grand down the road. And he'd say, I looked at the wrong page, sorry. £5 grand, we'll give you £5 grand too. In fact, if you do a deal now, I'll give you 5,050. But it's just a way of getting the customer to lose his defences and blurt it out. How much? I've been offered. And if he says he's been offered that down the road, say, look, I'm awfully sorry, it's not worth that to me. But if you go to the dealer down the road and you find it was a trick, so you'd go around, burn your bridges at all the dealers, go back there and he'd say, oh, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong car. It's only worth £3 grand. You know, there's all sorts of tricks like that. All sorts of dirty tricks. It was never for me. It was never for me. Those things were never for me. I give you my best price. If that's not good enough, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. That's it. No point messing about. Don't play games. That's it. If it's no good, I'm sorry. You know, that's it. But dealers, as I say, if you're not dealing with the owner of the business and you're dealing with somebody who's paid on commission all the way down, they will try and get your car as cheap as possible because they make more commission. But what these salesmen forget is you need stock. So if they don't take part exchanges in, they have to buy it. In the old days, they used to buy it at auctions. I used to work for a guy called Ian Blenkinsop. And honestly, as a boss, I loved him. He was fantastic. I learnt more off Ian Blenkinsop than I don't know what. And he had a great way of explaining things to you. I've said this in videos before. our birthdays were about 2 days apart. I was like a younger version of him. He loved gadgets, he liked motorbikes, fast cars. He liked the stuff I liked. The problem was, he knew what I was thinking sometimes before I even thought it. It was like he could read your mind. Anyway, I'd not been there long, and the golden boy went to the auction with him. When he went to buy stuff, the golden boy went with him, and I'd had a particularly good start. So what he said to me is, this is the auction catalogue, go through it, go through Glass's guide, see what we should bid, and you can come to the auction with me tomorrow. We went in his 850. I got to drive his 850. What a day. Well, we called him Blanky. We went in the auctioneer restaurant, had a steak and stuff. It was fantastic. And then we went to bid. Blanky, like me, does not like to be beaten. He was a professional golfer before he became a car salesman, and he did not like to be beaten. He once tossed a coin. We had a guy that we couldn't deal. We were 500 quid apart. So Blanky come out and he said, I'll tell you what. He says, we'll toss a coin. If you win, we'll give you 500 quid. If I win, we give you what we offered you. Have we got a deal? And the customer, being a gambling man, said, yeah. Anyway, Blanky tossed a coin and he lost. And I'm not kidding, he was in a bad mood for a month, at least. At least a month. He was a fantastic, way ahead of his time. When I went to work at BMW there, I just thought I'd landed in sales nirvana. We had a lift in the showroom up to the next floor. We had a canteen. They apologised because the only car for my demonstrator they got was a 325 SE. Now, my demonstrator before going there was something like a Vauxhall Chevette ES that it had vinyl seats and didn't even have a flipping heated rear screen. So I loved it. Anyway, we get to the auction, Blanky not wanting to be beaten. He's bidding on a few cars. Stock's very short. This is a BMW closed sale. Stock's very short, and we needed some used cars. You can't sell empty spaces. That's the theory. We'd lost out on a couple. They'd obviously got customers for it. And I could see Blanky. He used to go red. Well, he used to go purple. When he got mad, he used to go purple. And you knew then, shut up. Don't say another word. Shut it. Blanky's mad. He's gone. Daytona Violet. That's it. Anyway, I can see him getting madder and madder. And of course, in those days, you weren't nodding. Blanky wanted everybody to know that they were bidding against him. And they were gonna, you know, if they wanted that car, it was gonna cost them money. This BMW Coupe came in the ring. Blanky. And at the time, BMW Coupes weren't that good sellers, to be honest. Blanky's bidding away. We get to the limit I've put. Blanky's still putting his hand up and making sure everybody can see him, because he had got a bit of a reputation, and we'd gone way past. And in the end, I got hold of him. When he put his arms up, I got hold of him to try and stop him bidding, and I couldn't stop him bidding. And we ended up giving more for this BMW 3 Series Coupe than we could have got a new one for. So in an auction, sometimes you can get an unexpected result. You can get way more than you thought. Sometimes you can get way less if you're not put a reserve on, obviously. DV people are saying they're paying over book for electric vehicles. Top Car auction the other day. Cap clean for a Porsche Macan 2.9 GTS PDK station wagon. Bearing in mind that Porsches can have big specs on them. Cap clean, 53,400. It was still going at 62,100. You know, like 9 grand above cap clean. Range Rover Velar, mild hybrid this was. Cap clean, 42,300. Going once, 54,400, 12,100 above cap clean. Obviously had a customer. That's when you score. So unless Blanky is still buying cars, that's how it works. Okay, how do you get the best price for your car? There's a website called Motorway. Auto Trader, mostly you're selling private to private. Technically, you should get more money. Technically. To be honest, it's hard work on Auto Trader these days. They give you a price. It's an optimistic price. So you put it on for a week, it's not sold, you reduce it, until it gets to its selling price, and then perhaps you'll sell it. But there's some EVs been on there for 2 years. It's in Auto Trader's interest to get you to advertise on their platform. A better way. 2, 4, 6, 8. Motorway. Now, we've used Motorway a lot to buy cars, and it's good. We give fair money, and we've bought a good few cars. And we've bought those cars because we're the best bidder, or we were the best bidder at the time. We gave what that car was worth on the day. Now, the reason I can tell you that these vehicles get the best price is the amount of cars that we've not bought. We were good bidders. Good bidders. If you have a customer for a car, you'll go more because you know that that car is going to go out. If the customer's got a part exchange that you know you can go on with, you can give a little bit more. This is it. This is Motorway. This is the first one that's come. Actually, no, I'll recommend it because I can do nearest. So I'll do, this is the nearest to us. And this is somebody advertising. They've put a reserve price on it, 4872. It's had one bid, but this is what you do. So you take photos of it. There's 25 photos here. You take. See, that car's grubby inside. A clean, that would make all the difference and get him more money. There's pictures of the service book. That's what we like to see, a nice service book. He's done close-up pictures of the scratches. Scratch down the side there. You know, and the dealer can take all that into account. I mean, to be honest with that car, it looks like you're buying work. You'd have to get it cheap. Engine 5 hours, valuation, retail price 5995, clean price 4250. 4872. I think that's a bit optimistic, but also here you'll see pictures of the wheels, the tyres. Go down here where it is, tells you how much to deliver. It's local to us, so we just go and pick it up. Previous owners, tells you the previous owners. Current owners had it 2 years, 4 months. The thing to look out there is when they've only had it a couple of weeks and you know he's either a dealer or there's something wrong with the car. Last MOT, 6th of the 3rd, 2025. The advisory's on it. Well, they've removed a phone holder. That was an advisory, so it's not really an advisory. Why they had to put that on, I'll never know. And then you bid. At the end of the day, if you're the highest bidder, you'll get an email, and then you arrange with the customer, get the customer's details, you arrange with the customer to go and pick it up. And that's it. And subject to your description being okay, I don't think we've ever chipped anybody when we've gone to see the vehicle. It's not worth it because you get a train, you get a taxi from the station, you get there, and if you don't buy the vehicle, you've got to do all the same again and go home empty-handed and start again. So the dealer should be looking to buy it. What happens if you misdescribed it? I can give you one particular instance where one car was vastly misdescribed. Vastly. It couldn't have been more misdescribed. John went up on a train, there was delays on the train, then he had to get another train across country, and then the train station was in the middle of nowhere, he had to get a taxi. He ended up getting to this chap's house at about 7 o'clock at night. It was dark, He looked around the car. He could see there was faults with his car, but he couldn't be bothered trying to roll the guy back. He couldn't be bothered saying, no, it's not for me. We'll get a taxi and, you know, end up getting back at probably the next morning. He just paid the guy. We have a phrase, wiped his mouth. He wiped his mouth, paid the guy, drove back. Within a few 100 yards of the chap's house, the engine management light came on. I think it cost us another 1,300 quid to get the engine management light sorted. It cost us £4,000 for John not to buy that vehicle. He could have got a taxi home and he could have got a helicopter home, and it would have cost us less money than buying that vehicle. There's that to take into account. Don't forget, the dealer's made a lot of effort, come out of the garage for a day to come and pick that car up because he wants it. So don't give in too easy when they try and chip you. Okay, how do I know you get the best price? Now I promise you, John is a good bidder. Unlike the stories you see, and you know, when you watch wheeler dealers, I just nicked that car. I've sat in the office when somebody's come in to John, and John said to him, how much are you looking for your car? And the guy said, £9,500. And John said, well, I'm not going to give you £9,500 because it's worth more. And I think he gave him 10 grand. It was worth more. John's the same as me. You know, we're looking to make a fair living. We were looking to make a fair living. We weren't looking to get rich, sadly. And as you can see, I'm not. So John doesn't try to nick things. We'll go into motorway here. It shows us purchases complete. These are the ones that we've bought. I'll show you down the left hand side. I won't show you down the right hand side. Never made massive money, but there's pages of vehicles that we bought off motorway, and we've given what those cars were worth on the day. Not nicked any, given fair prices. What I want to show you is the ones we didn't win. So here we go. This is recently. When people say that diesels, there's no call for them and they don't want them, Land Rover Discovery HSE, we bid 15 grand. It sold for £18,556. There you go. Sold date 20th of the 9th, 2025. Two scuffed alloys. So that'd be another, if you had them done at the proper wheel place, be another couple of £100. We wouldn't have been selling that vehicle for that price. The next one, maximum bid 12,251, sold for 13,700, £1,500 more than we thought. Next one, 9.5, 10.2, 20 grand. £26,287. You get a few. 10,800, sold for 10,801. That's what you get when you bid flat numbers. 12,101, sold for 12,752. Maximum bid 9,151, sold for 9,270. Maximum bid 16.1, sold for 18,224. Maximum bid 12,101, sold for 15,166. Your maximum bid 13,101, sold for 14,244. So you get the picture. On the day, somebody was looking for that car, probably had a customer for it, might have even wanted to smoke it themselves and was prepared to give good money, or had a good swapper that they'd got sold and they knew they could even muck that away. Some cases, as I've said before, certain cars sell and you can't actually buy them at the moment. They're the ones that are selling fastest and you can't actually buy them. So me, if I wanted to get those vehicles in stock, I would buy something that those people buy so I could get their car. And if I knew I could make good money and sell it fast, I would buy one of those, just put a small margin on it, sell it to get a part exchange in. Think outside the box. So these are proper examples. I'm telling you that motorway, we buy cars off motorway and we see people sell them and get great money. And also we see people putting reserve prices on vehicles. Say that one. I can guarantee John's not bid 15 grand at that when there's been a reserve price of 18,500. Because you're just wasting your time. He's bid that because that was the reserve. That person has probably ended up with 3.5 grand more than he thought he was going to get. Okay, if that's not enough to convince you to try motorway, is it enough to convince you? Probably not. What about this then? Refer a friend. If you use this link and you sell your car on motorway, not only do you stand a chance of getting virtually retail for your car at the moment, because good, clean cars are in short supply. Make sure you describe it properly. Make sure your photographs are good. Make sure your car's clean. You'd be surprised how many people advertise vehicles with partial service history when they've got full history. That's another thing we do. When we're looking at a vehicle, if it says it's got partial history, we'll get the registration number, phone the dealers up, see if there's any service history missing, so that we know then that that car has actually got a full service history. Make sure you list your service history. Very, very important. Any extras. A lot of people don't put extras on. Make sure it's clean, you've got all your extras in your service history, and the photos are taken in a nice place. One thing I would advise, because the next thing that we do when we're looking for a car, we look at the pictures of the vehicles, and if they're taking up the driveway, we look at the picture of the house. What's the house like? Do these people look like they're going to scrimp on servicing, get rid of it because there's something wrong? And you know, if you look at the house and there's a settee in the front garden, then you don't buy it. So that's important. Take it somewhere nice. Photograph the cars. First impression. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. Take nice photos of your car. I can virtually promise you, you will get what your car is worth on the day. And just at this moment, with dealers fighting for good stock, you can buy any amount of EVs. Good stock. Good diesel stock that sells quickly, that people want. Try it on motorway. You don't have to sell it. You don't have to go through with it. If you do and you use my code, you'll get a £50 Amazon voucher. And I'll get a £50 Amazon voucher. But basically, you're giving me £50 for making a lot more probably than you would get if you part exchanged it or sold it on Auto Trader. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.